Dubai. You know, the name itself conjures images of impossible architecture, unrestrained opulence. A city that seems to have sprung fully formed from the desert sands. A testament to what vast wealth and even vaster ambition can achieve. We see it on our screens in glossy magazines, in breathless travelogues of social media influencers. The Burj Khalifa, a silver needle piercing the sky. The tallest man-made structure on Earth. The Palm Jumeirah, an artificial archipelago shaped like a palm tree. Sprawling villas, five-star hotels, a playground for the global elite. Luxury is the fabric of daily existence. This is the Dubai the world is meant to see. Police driving Lamborghinis and Bugattis, not for chases but as symbols of overflowing coffers. Dubai Mall, not just shopping, cavernous cathedrals of consumerism, but this shimmering facade, like a mirage, conceals a far more complex, troubling reality. The very foundations of this gilded cage are built on something the brochures never show. To understand Dubai, one must first grapple with its extraordinary demographics. The city is, in essence, a city of foreigners. Emirati citizens make up only around 10 to 15%. The other 85 to 90% are expatriates, a vast and diverse collection of people from every corner of the globe. This makes Dubai one of the most cosmopolitan cities on the planet, a melting pot of cultures, languages, traditions. But this diversity is not one of equals. It is a highly stratified system. A pyramid with a tiny, wealthy elite at the top and a massive base of low-wage laborers at the bottom. This demographic imbalance is not an accident. It is the very engine of Dubai's economic model. Professionals from the West, professionals from India. Professionals from the Philippines fill roles in finance, technology, and management. They often live comfortable lives in gated communities, but beneath this layer lies a much larger group. These are the migrant workers, primarily from South Asia. The promise sold to prospective migrant workers is often a simple one. Come to Dubai, the land of gold, and build a better future for your family. Recruitment agents in villages across South Asia paint a picture of high wages, excellent opportunities. A farmer in rural India, a laborer in Bangladesh, the prospect of earning several $100s a month in Dubai seems like a life-changing lottery win. Families often pool their life savings, take out high-interest loans, sell ancestral land to pay the exorbitant recruitment fees required to secure a visa and a job. The journey begins with hope. A belief that a few years of hard work will be enough to build a house back home, pay for a child's education, clear debilitating debts. These men board planes, many for the first time in their lives. However, for many, the reality upon arrival is a brutal awakening. The promised salaries often shrink. Far from the glamorous beachfront shimmering skyscrapers lies another, hidden Dubai. It is a place most tourists and wealthy residents will never see. Its official name is Muhaizna II, known simply as Sonapur. Sonapur translates from Hindi to City of Gold. For its inhabitants, however, it is anything but. This sprawling zone on the outskirts of the city is a vast network of labor camps, purpose-built to house the massive workforce. It is the flip side of the Dubai dream. The living conditions in Sonapur are a world away from luxury brochures. Row upon row of drab concrete buildings. Often a dozen men in a single small room. Bunk beds crammed together, leaving little personal space. Belongings tucked in small lockers or under beds. The density creates constant noise and no privacy. Sanitation facilities are overwhelmed, long queues for toilets and showers. Clean, potable water can be a daily struggle. A far cry from the decorative fountains in the city. The camps are isolated geographically and socially. For a migrant worker in Dubai, the day begins long before the city awakens, while its wealthy residents sleep soundly in air-conditioned villas. A cacophony of cheap digital alarms rings out in the crowded dormitories of Sonapur around 4 a.m. Men rise from their narrow bunk beds in a synchronized routine. In rooms housing up to a dozen, it's a quiet shuffle in the pre-dawn darkness, where personal space is a forgotten luxury. There's a rush for the communal bathrooms, a hurried, impersonal process. A quick meal follows, often just bread and tea, barely enough to power a body for 12 hours of hard labor. And then it's time to board the buses. These vehicles are often old and lacking air conditioning, a stark contrast to the luxury cars that will soon fill the roads. They ferry thousands across empty highways, a rolling testament to the city's deep divide. The workday itself is grueling. In the summer, the sun can soar to nearly 50 degrees Celsius. The men toil under this relentless heat, their blue overalls soaked with sweat. They pour concrete, they weld steel, they hang glass panels on skyscrapers, building a skyline they will never truly be a part of. Safety standards exist, but with pressure to meet deadlines, they're not always rigorously enforced. Faulty equipment is common and accidents are a constant gnawing fear. Dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke are common occupational hazards. A legally mandated midday break offers some respite, but it's brief. Lunch is a simple affair, usually eaten on site. Tiffin boxes are opened in the shade, revealing rice, thin lentil soup, or curry. The food is often bland and repetitive. Fuel to get through the shift, not nourishment to be savored. The men eat quickly, finding whatever shade they can, then return to the job. As dusk falls, the workers pile back onto the buses for the long journey home, their bodies aching, their minds already on the alarm that will ring again in just a few short hours. This is the relentless grind that builds the dream for others. The story of Dubai's construction is a story of incredible speed. In just a few short decades, a sleepy fishing village was transformed into a global metropolis. This rapid development was fueled by the discovery of oil in the 1960s, but it was the vision of its rulers to diversify the economy away from fossil fuels that truly set its trajectory. They imagined a city that would thrive on tourism, finance, logistics, and they built it with breathtaking velocity. Entire districts, complete with skyscrapers, marinas, man-made islands, seemed to appear overnight. This build it and they will come philosophy was a monumental gamble that paid off spectacularly. This breakneck pace of construction was, and still is, entirely dependent on the army of migrant workers. They are the human machinery that has made this architectural ambition a reality. Every iconic building, from the sail-shaped Burj Al Arab to the twisting Cayenne Tower, Dubai's existence is an astonishing feat of engineering, a glittering metropolis built in defiance of nature. Located in one of the most arid regions on Earth, it's a city built on sand where natural fresh water is virtually non-existent. To sustain its over 3 million residents and booming tourism, nearly everything must be imported. This creates a fragile supply chain for essentials, especially food. Supermarket shelves display apples from New Zealand, beef from Australia, and berries from Europe. A global pantry with a significant environmental cost. Water is another critical resource. With no significant rivers, the city turns to the sea, sourcing its fresh water from massive desalination plants. These are technological marvels, but they are incredibly energy-intensive, mostly powered by burning natural gas. The process causes air pollution and releases a highly saline brine back into the Arabian Gulf, harming marine life and devastating local ecosystems. And yet the city's lush green parks and sprawling golf courses are sustained by this very same artificial water, creating an illusion of abundance. This contrast is a metaphor for the city itself, because Dubai is not one city but two, existing side by side yet worlds apart. The first is the city of postcards and Instagram feeds, a world of infinity pools, all-day brunches, and Ferraris parked outside opulent hotels. The second city is invisible to the first. It is the city of Sonapur and other labor camps, a world of crowded dormitories, long bus rides, and grueling manual labor. It is inhabited by the men who build and maintain the first city. As Dubai continues to push the boundaries of what is possible, launching ever more ambitious projects, its skyline a constantly shifting testament to ambition. This has created a playground for the global elite, a magnet for immense wealth. Yet, beneath the shimmering facade, an unspoken question hangs over its future. Is this model, built on such a stark foundation of inequality, sustainable in the long run? For every luxury penthouse there is a hidden human cost paid by those who build the dream but are excluded from it. The city's success is predicated on a continuous supply of cheap, temporary labor, a workforce that can build the city but never truly belong, and an ever-expanding global economy. But what happens when these conditions change? What happens when the countries that supply the labor begin to develop their own economies, offering better opportunities at home? A labor shortage could threaten the city's growth engine. The world is becoming more aware of the ethical issues surrounding migrant labor. International human rights organizations have long criticized the kafala sponsorship system prevalent in the Gulf, which ties a worker's visa to their employer, creating a massive power imbalance and enabling abuses. While the UAE has introduced reforms in recent years, critics argue they don't go far enough. Enforcement remains a challenge, and many workers are too afraid to exercise their rights, fearing retaliation from their employers. Furthermore, the environmental unsustainability of maintaining a metropolis in the desert is becoming apparent. The city is almost entirely dependent on imports for its food and water, a precarious position. A model built on infinite growth faces a reckoning on a finite planet. Can a city truly be considered a world-class model for the future if the majority of its population lives in conditions of exploitation? The glittering towers of Dubai are a testament to human ingenuity, but they also cast a long shadow. The question remains, can this dream endure, or is it a fleeting mirage in the desert?